Welcome or welcome back to the CNC Advantage. I am Christy, and however, Cooper is missing because it's a super late reading and he needs his beauty rest, clearly. This reading is for Leos for the month of July, and we're doing the Celtic Cross for y'all. So let's just hop right in, shall we? All right. Your current situation shows that you are in the Hermit energy. So you have been doing some self-reflection. You've been isolating yourself a bit, trying to heal what's broken, study, learn, possibly learning to just kind of get to know yourself again. Maybe you feel like you lost yourself to something and you put so much of your time and effort into this, and now that it's been removed, you don't really know who you are without it anymore. What I'm hearing, right? So you've really been taking time to just put yourself back together and really getting in touch with nature and your light, and raising your vibrations and things of that sort. So well done, Leo. That's great. I love to hear that. What you might find challenging is that you have the Judgment card. So maybe something, whatever was removed from your life, I'm hearing that there could be some karma coming from it, right? So if you lied, if you cheated, if you stole, then judgment was called for. That's divine judgment, not just, like your parents or something like that, This is karma being handed out by one of the gods, kind of thing. So, so even though you're taking time to look at the whole situation and everything, doesn't mean that you can avoid what's coming, right? So what you can focus on is being honest with yourself. You have the King of Swords energy here. So that's taking accountability, owning your part in it. Whatever happened, So don't sit there and justify why you did it and all these things. Hold yourself accountable for your own actions. So, well, they did this, so I did this. You are still in control of you. So if they screwed up, the best thing you can do is either have a talk with them or just walk away, right? And vengeance is the Lord's, right? So if you took vengeance in some way, then you need to be held accountable for those actions, whether you think that they were justified or not. The Spirit is saying, vengeance is mine. If they weren't supposed to do what they did, then I will take care of it. And that's where your faith and your trust needs to come in. You need to stand in my truth, and that can be quite challenging at times. Other things that you can focus on: having patience, and taking the time to hear the messages of truth, right? So no matter how hard this truth is to hear, you need to take patience and be like, I see it now. You got to give it time to sink in. So you got two truth cards here for what you need to focus on, and you need patience with yourself, the divine, with everyone involved, basically. And it's going to push you to limits that you didn't know you had, you know. And it's going to be a whole new level of patience that you may not be as familiar with. All right, so I mean, you may be a very patient person to begin with, but in this case, you're gonna feel a lot of pressure, and you're not gonna want to face the truth, is what I'm hearing. So you'll know that it's the truth, but you won't own up to it. You're gonna stay in that denial of it, you know, the justification of it, and that could put you in like a bit of a tornado vortex, and that can be tough to get out once you're swirling in it, you know. The way out of it is to step back, you know, like you were in hermit mode, right? Take time to study your part in the whole situation, okay? The energy that you're leaving right now is the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So you feel that people have not been very generous to you lately. They have not been reciprocating your generosity, how you've been giving to others, how you've been helping and chipping in and stuff like that. And so maybe you took what you felt was yours, what was justified. And that doesn't fly right now, right? So, and you can see that it's not playing to your favor. What you can focus on for your strengths is the Hierophant in reverse. You don't want to go to anyone for help because you're not really trusting of anyone else's advice or wisdom at this point. Maybe you don't trust the church that you've been going to. Maybe you lost faith in your counselor. Maybe your friends walked out on you. You know, usually the Hierophant is more of like an organization card or a marriage card. So, I mean, maybe you don't trust your spouse anymore even, you know. And this is your strength right now. That's why I'm a little confused. I'm not hearing the messages very clearly on this card. Not getting anyone else involved at this time, so don't call the police or, you know, kind of thing, you know, don't make it bigger than what it already is. It's already quite the shitstorm is what I'm hearing, I guess. And don't get anyone else involved or higher power kind of thing where they take all the control out of your hands and now the whole thing is in theirs. They decide what happens. So that will not benefit you if you do that at this time. Okay, they said just to move on. Okay. Your near future, you got the Five of Cups on the fence. So the Five of Cups is where you're focused on what you lost. You're in remorse. You're in regret. You got two other cups here, but the other one is pouring out with her foot. You know, you're starting to not give a shit at all about the divinity, about spirituality, about the situation, about the repercussions, about, you know, taking accountability. You just kind of, I'm tired of this shit. I don't care anymore, you know, and your focus is kind of in the wrong place. Sorry, guys. it's tough. It's a tough spot to be in, you know. Even if it wasn't premeditated what you did and it was just a knee-jerk reaction, even those we still need to be held accountable for, right? All right, so advice from Spirit. You got 4 cards here, so we're going to read them all together. You have the Queen of Wands in reverse. You have the 8 of Swords upright. The 6 of Wands in reverse. And the Moon in reverse. Oh, damn. Tough energy, guys. This is tough energy to read. Believe me. Queen of Wands in reverse. Don't be quite so vainful, right? Self-centered, egotistical, selfish, right? That is the 8 of Swords. Talks about a man-made prison. So you made your own type of prison for yourself here. But you have everything you need to come out of it. But you need to be able to face the truth. Your truth, their truth, everyone's truth about the whole situation in its entirety, not sugarcoating it. Advice. You still have the 6 of Wands in reverse. Whatever happened, you're not going to see the results from this that you were hoping for. So if you were hoping that they were going to come back, they're not. If you were hoping that you would receive something, you know, that you felt you were due, it's not coming in. So whatever victory or success that you were hoping for out of this is not coming in, okay? And you also have the Moon in reverse. Not following your gut and your intuition led you astray. So maybe you just need to take the time to feel the emotions of all this, right? Don't let your body hold on to it and sit there and just muster over it and over and over and over. Don't overthink it, right? Just feel the emotions, allow them to pass through you. Try to get clarity of mind, spirit, your light, you know, try to realign with what's still good, right? So even though you go through tough times, I say that, you know, you learn more from your failures than you do your successes. And that means that there's a great amount of growth available to you here if you take the time and face it head on, okay? As far as your environment, you might feel like things are going to start moving real fast and almost out of control. Very fast. You might feel like a lot of things are coming at you all at once. Not only this, but work, life, the family, your friends. You might have a lot coming at you at once. And some of them you might not be able to see everything that's coming in. And all the ways that this is going to play out in your life now. Your hopes and fears. You were hoping that whatever you did was going to bring in an act of love, an actual show of love for it to move in the right direction somehow. You, like your white noble steed to come in and rescue you, and you were hoping that that one person that you thought you could still trust, that would stand by you through thick and thin, would come through for you. You were hoping for that. But your fears are the Nine of Swords in reverse, the Three of Wands in reverse, and the Empress in reverse. So you fear that you're going to be having lots of sleepless nights, remorse, this is depression, this is anxiety, this is, you try to sleep and you can't. When you do sleep, you have nightmares. You just, even when you do sleep, you wake up and you don't feel rested at all, kind of thing. When you wake up, your body hurts and you're sore, and you fear that you're going to be stuck here for a while. The Three of Wands in reverse, that means that everything that you've been manifesting and you've been hoping that these ships were going to come in for you, you're afraid that they're not going to come in now. And so all this work, all this effort that you've put into this situation is just not panning out. And you were hoping that it would be a brand new beginning for you, for the Empress, that you would step into a higher vibration, that you would embody all four queens, that you would be able to just manifest on a dime, attract whatever you wanted in. You were afraid to lose these things. Maybe you already had those. Maybe you were afraid of losing this energy, all right? So that's where your hopes and fears are for July. Your potential outcome for July is going to be the Two of Pentacles upright and the Ace of Swords upright. You're going to find balance through all this, right? So, nothing lasts forever, and the only constant is change. So if you change and adapt and learn and face the truth of all of this, you have all you need to find better balance in your life and move forward in this truth. So when people come up to you and be like, man, did you do that? You're going to be like, yeah, I did that. It wasn't my finer moment. Fine. But I've thought about it, and I've really done the work on this, and from now on I'm going to make sure that I do this in the future. And that people are going to be able to respect that, because no one's perfect. We're only human, right? We all make mistakes. It's tough energy to be in, and I really feel for you right now. I'm so sorry that you're going through this, and I don't fully understand what happened. But I can feel the energy of it, and I can feel that you're suffering. But you need to know that if you truly face this head on, you're going to be all right. You're going to find balance. You're going to find a way to move forward in the truth of it all. Not be ashamed of it, not be, live in guilt, and you're not going to be punished for the rest of your life, right? But you can take the lessons that you learn from this to respond instead of reacting. Sometimes the best response to something is just walking away, holding your tongue. So if you don't have anything nice to say back to someone who just said something absolutely horrendous to you that just pissed you off to no end, just to sit there and be quiet. You hold on to your control, and you hold on to your peace, and you don't allow that other person or situation to pull you out of that peace. And they're going to tempt you. It's going to be super tempting. I could have said this, I could have said that, I could have retaliated like this or that, or I could have said a snappy comeback, sometimes the best thing is just to move on with your peace, you know, and facing the truth of it, setting better boundaries in the future. Hey, I don't want to wind back up in this situation again, so next time I'm going to set this boundary and I'm going to stick to it for me because I love myself. Okay? All right. All right. Well, I know that this was a tough reading to hear, but if you appreciate the time and the energy that goes into these readings, please go ahead and smash that like button. If you want to leave a comment, I always read through them as much as I can. If I can help, I'll do what I can to help. In the meantime, if you want to receive notifications for future readings, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified. Alright, until next time, Leos, in love and light.